Well, good evening. I want to thank you so much for joining me on my daily dose once again. As far as my health goes today, things have been wonderful. I was able to go out as usual on the Lord's Day and worship locally with the Adamsville Church of Christ. And I appreciate the opportunity always to be with those brethren, and especially to be with Brother Ronnie Hayes. He preaches the gospel there at Adamsville. He does an outstanding job. His Bible classes, both sermons today, were just outstanding. He's a very great motivator. He can push you and get you to do things perhaps that you didn't believe you could. He likes to talk about those who get out and work. And today he talked about working until the end, to the end of eternity. And so we have to understand that we work for God in everything that we do. I did have a good day as far as my exercise goes also. After we got in from worship this evening, we were delayed all day because of those activities, but after we got in from worship this evening, my wife and my son went with me over to the hospital where we generally walk, and I was able to walk 2.5 miles nearly straight through this time. And so it was a joy and a privilege to be with them, and especially to be able to exercise like that. I appreciate them helping me with that, motivating me with that, and reminding me of the need for that. As a matter of fact, today they kept up fairly well, I'd have to say. And so I just love them, appreciate them for all their support. How many of you, like I was as a child, grew up believing that the more that we did, the more we deserved? We grew up thinking if we'll just do better and act better, then perhaps come Christmas time, birthday, or holiday, we'll receive some greater reward just for being who we are. Well, friends, I think what generally happens in that, we take that from childhood on the schoolhouse and then finally in the workplace. And we begin to think that we're only motivated by what we do and the raises that we receive, the days off, the vacation time, whatever it is, the benefits. And then we lose sight of what's truly at hand. You know, when it comes to spiritual things, no matter what we do for God, we are not going to necessarily deserve any greater reward than He's already promised, which is heaven itself. According to Luke 17 and verse 10, the Bible says, "So likewise, when ye shall have done all those things which are commanded you, say, We are unprofitable servants. We have done that which is our duty to do." Now, what the Lord is teaching here is this, that we are servants. Literally here, we are bond slaves unto God. We're the type of slave that are there to do His service and to do His bidding in its fullest and entirety without ever wanting anything extra. As a matter of fact, the parable that has preceded this, that's exactly what the Lord said. He said, imagine a man who's gone out and worked in the fields as a servant, a slave, all the day long. And when he comes in that evening, just as he's about to settle down for the evening, his master calls unto him and says, "Cook me some supper, fix me some food." When he gets up and does that, does he deserve thanks for doing that extra thing for that day? Well, no. He's but an unprofitable servant. He's a servant, so he does that which is duty to do. Now, friends, with that in light of this program, and perhaps with many of your lives, we have to understand that when we serve God, we are but unprofitable servants. Just because we arise the next day after a hard day's work, even if it be for the Lord and the Lord alone, we do not wake up and say, "Well, God, you saw what I did yesterday. You saw what I need today. Why don't you provide it?" Friends, we're not going to use our work and our service to God ever as a bargaining tool. We're not going to be able to stand before the throne of God and brag and boast about all that we've done and say unto God, I deserve better than the man next to me because of what I've done. Friends, the very basis of Christianity is based upon service. Service toward mankind, but certainly more and most importantly, service toward God. So I ask you this question. What have you done in life today that makes you feel deserving of anything extra? Whatever that is, say to yourself this simple phrase, "I am but an unprofitable servant, and I've done that which is my duty to do." Now rise tomorrow and do your duty once again. This has been your Daily Dose, and I pray that you've been encouraged.